Underneath the vast expanse of stars, a quiet signal is received from an unknown source. It's not a message from Earth, it's a plea for help. And it's not just a call to any human, it's a call to you. A quiet night in the suburbs. Samantha sat alone in her room, the soft glow of her computer screen casting a dim light across her face. The usual hum of the neighborhood was missing tonight, replaced by an eerie silence. Just as she was about to shut down her laptop, an alert flashed across the screen. It wasn't a normal notification. The message was encrypted, unlike anything she'd seen before. But it was clear this wasn't a prank or a glitch. There was something there, something important. Her hands hovered over the keyboard. Her heart raced. A wave of unease swept over her as she opened the message. It was a strange code, with symbols and patterns that looked like nothing she'd encountered in her years as a software engineer. But within the code was a name. Not a name she recognized, but one that felt familiar. The name was Kaylin. Samantha's mind raced, thinking back to her childhood. Was this a part of some forgotten memory? She tried to shake off the feeling, but she couldn't. There was something strange about this message, something unsettling. The message contained a request, help. But who or what was Kaylin, and why was this message now reaching her? Suddenly, her phone buzzed. It was a call from her estranged brother, Jason. They hadn't spoken in months, so the timing of the call felt strange. "Samantha, I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but I've been getting these visions." Jason's voice was shaky, almost afraid. "I keep seeing the name Kaylin everywhere. It's like they're trying to tell me something. Do you know anything about it?" Samantha felt a chill run down her spine. She looked at the message again. The connection between her and Jason felt undeniable now. The message wasn't just for her, it was for both of them. The next day, Jason arrived at her apartment, his eyes wide with a mixture of fear and excitement. He handed her an old, weathered book. The cover was written in a language that Samantha couldn't recognize, but the symbols on it mirrored the code she had deciphered earlier. "It's all connected," Jason said, his voice urgent. "This book, it's about an ancient civilization, a race of beings from the stars. They called themselves the Starborn." The realization hit them both. The message, the name Kaylin, and now this book, everything pointed to something greater than they could comprehend. They had to follow the trail. But what did it mean for them? And why had they been chosen? Samantha and Jason embarked on a journey they never imagined they would take. Following the clues, they traveled to an old observatory on the outskirts of town, a place that Jason had mentioned in his visions. As they walked through the dusty halls, an overwhelming sense of déjà vu filled Samantha's mind. It was as though she had been here before, though she couldn't place when or why. In the observatory's basement, they discovered an ancient artifact, a star map, covered in strange markings. The map was linked to the constellations, each one corresponding to a different starborn colony spread across the galaxy. The map pulsed with energy, and when they touched it, a surge of visions flooded their minds. They saw vast planets, strange alien creatures, and a dark force that threatened to destroy everything. Jason's voice was barely a whisper as he looked at Samantha. "The Starborn are real, Sam. They're not just myths. They've been watching us for centuries." Samantha couldn't deny the truth. Everything she had felt, every strange sensation, every moment of familiarity, was coming together. They weren't just uncovering an ancient secret, they were part of it. The artifact contained more than just a map. It had coordinates that led to a remote location in the mountains. Without hesitation, they packed their bags and set out. But their journey wasn't without danger. They were being watched. Samantha felt eyes on them, and not just from the shadows. There were others who had been searching for this knowledge for far longer than they had. On the way, their car was ambushed by a group of unknown assailants. They were dressed in dark clothes, and their movements were unnervingly precise. As if they had been waiting for them. Samantha and Jason barely managed to escape, but not without injuries. The attackers seemed to know exactly where they were headed and why. It became clear that they were no longer just on a quest for knowledge. They were being hunted. After narrowly escaping the ambush, Samantha and Jason made their way to the coordinates marked on the map. They reached a hidden cave nestled deep in the mountains, its entrance concealed by thick vegetation. Inside, they found something unimaginable, a spacecraft, long abandoned but still operational. Its design was unlike anything human technology had produced. The ship hummed to life as they entered, responding to their presence as if it had been waiting for them all along. A holographic figure appeared before them, a being made entirely of light and energy. It spoke in a language that they couldn't understand at first, but slowly, the words began to translate in their minds. "We are the Starborn," the figure said. "We have watched your world for eons. Kalen is the key. You are the ones who must choose whether humanity survives or falls." The figure explained that the Starborn had seeded civilizations across the universe, and Earth was one of their greatest experiments. But something had gone wrong. A malevolent force, a shadow from the deepest corners of the cosmos, was threatening to destroy everything they had created. Kalen was the last of the Starborn, and their only hope for survival. Samantha and Jason's role was clear now. They weren't just bystanders in this story, they were integral to its resolution. Kalen's essence had been hidden within them, waiting to be awakened. The ancient message they received was the first signal of their awakening, and the journey they had undertaken was not just for knowledge, but for power, the power to stop the impending doom. As they learned more about Kalen's origins, the final pieces of the puzzle fell into place. Kalen was not a person, but an entity, a cosmic being whose consciousness had been intertwined with humanity for millennia. The decision was now in their hands. Would they harness the power of the Starborn and risk the unknown, or would they choose to remain on Earth, fighting to preserve their fragile existence without fully understanding the consequences? The tension in the air was thick as Samantha and Jason stood before the ship's control panel, the fate of two worlds hanging in the balance. They made their choice. With a deep breath, they activated the device, unleashing a wave of energy that resonated across the stars. The darkness that had threatened the Starborn was now dissipating, but with it came a new beginning. The power of the Starborn was now part of them, and Earth would never be the same. As the dust settled, the two siblings looked at each other, knowing that their world had just shifted forever. They had not only saved humanity but had also embraced the unknown, becoming a part of something much greater than themselves. This story delves into several ethical themes. Responsibility and power. Samantha and Jason are given immense power, the fate of humanity and the Starborn resting in their hands. Their decisions carry weight, showing how those in positions of power must consider the long-term consequences of their actions. Interconnectedness of all beings. The connection between humans and the Starborn raises questions about our place in the universe. It explores the ethical implications of intergalactic relationships and how one civilization's survival may depend on the actions of another. Sacrifice for the greater good. Samantha and Jason's journey involves personal sacrifice for the survival of not just their species but others as well. It challenges the idea of individualism versus the collective good, highlighting the ethics of selflessness and sacrifice. Choice and free will. Ultimately, Samantha and Jason are given the choice of how to use their newfound knowledge and power. The ethical dilemma they face, whether to embrace their destiny or reject it, mirrors the human struggle for autonomy and the consequences of the choices we make. The unknown and exploration. The story encourages exploration and curiosity, but it also asks what responsibilities come with uncovering the unknown. The ethical consequences of delving into mysteries that may not be fully understood are an underlying theme. The story, with its blend of suspense, mystery, and intergalactic ethics, challenges the audience to reflect on their own choices and the broader consequences those choices may have.